All right, so the last couple of classes we have talked about polynomials. Last class we looked at attributes of a polynomial, and a little bit before that I showed you how to add, subtract, and multiply a polynomial. I did it very briefly. And notice I didn't bring up dividing, because dividing gets its own unique section of chapter 3. Now, before I start showing you how to divide a polynomial, there's vocabulary words we need to know. The dividend, or what's inside my den here, is what's inside your dividing symbol. The divisor is what's outside. That's what I'm dividing into my dividend. Now, once you do that, the answer is the quotient. The answer is what you get with the quotient. Now, if you happen to get a 0 down here, once you do your long division, then you have no remainder. But if you get something down here other than 0, then you will have a remainder. So the total answer will be the quotient plus the remainder. But if you just ask for the quotient, then all you need is here. You can disregard the remainder. Let's go ahead and divide this polynomial using long division. Notice I have my cubic and I have my linear function, my dividend and my divisor. First thing we want to look at is the very first term of each of these. Now notice I have put mine in descendant order already. If it's not, you need to do that. So 3, 2, 1, and a constant is 0. 1, 0. So again, it needs to be in order first before you start your long division. So I'm looking at my first 2x cubed and my first here, 2x. What do I multiply 2x to give me a 2x cubed? 2x times what is 2x cubed? Well, I have my 2, I have 1x, but I'm missing 2 more x's. So x squared times 2x is 2x cubed. Now let me take this x squared and multiply it back to my 2x, which we now know is 2x cubed. But let me also take it and multiply it to negative 5. Gives me negative 5x squared. My goal here is to, when I add this all up, I want to get rid of my cubes. But right now when I add it, I have 4x cubed. So how do you get rid of 2x cubed and a 2x cubed? Well, you have to make one of them a negative. So what I'm doing here is I need to flip my sign. Now I can't just flip this sign without flipping this one as well. So I am flipping my signs. Now why in the world did I do that? Well, once I add 2x cubed to a negative 2x cubed, they will cancel. That is what I want. I want to get rid of the cubes. So let me just work down the row here and add everything else up. Negative x squared plus 5x squared is, let's see, negative 6x squared. And drop everything else down. Plus 13x plus 15. Okay. Now I've gotten rid of my cube. Now it's time to get rid of the square. So let's start all over. Look at my square. Look at my first term here. 2x times what will give me a negative 6x squared. 2 times what is negative 6? Well, that's 2 times negative 3 will give me that negative 6. I have 1x. I need 2, so I need to multiply one more x. So negative 3x squared, negative 3x times 2x will give me a negative 6x squared. Now let's not forget, I need to also multiply negative 3x by this negative 5. That is a plus 15x. Now just like we did here, my goal is to get rid of my square. Well, right now, I don't get rid of it by adding it up. So, just like I did up here, I need to flip my signs. My negative becomes positive, my positive becomes negative. And only when I do that, now my x squares will cancel. What about x's? Let's see, 13x minus 15x is negative 2x plus 15. And so far, I've gotten rid of cubed, got rid of squared. I got one more x I need to get rid of. My goal here is get rid of all your variables. So let's start over. Look at my first term. Look at my first term. 2x times what is negative 2x? Well, I have my 2, have my x. I'm just missing this negative. So I have to multiply it by a negative 1. So now let me look at that. Negative 1 times 2x is negative 2x. And negative 1 times negative 5 is plus 5. Just like I did on these two steps, went over here, flip my sign, so this negative becomes plus, plus becomes negative, so that at last, I've gotten rid of my last variable, my x's. I can add my 15 minus 5 and get 10. So my quotient is x squared minus 3x plus 1. And I will have a remainder of 10. Now you just can't say it's 10, you have to divide it by the divisor. So it's 10 divided by 2x minus 5. This will become my remainder. So it's a step process. Look at your first term here. This times what multiplies to give you this number. Figure out the value there, multiply across by each of your terms on your divisor, write them out here, flip the sign so that when you add, you get rid of your highest power, and gradually go down the steps. Now if you can remember this from maybe middle school when we did long division, we're now doing long division with a polynomial. Same exact steps. If you can recall flipping the signs, that's what we need to do. Quotient is your answer plus the remainder. So these are two separate things, the quotient and the remainder that make the answer together. And recall, remember the remainder is not just the number you end up with, it's the number divided by your divisor. Okay, so example number 2. Now I want to make a point here that there is no magic graphic organizer, nice simple way to show you how to divide by polynomials that you're just like, aha, I get it. This is one of those math problems where you just have to practice and just brute force your way through it and get through it until you get good at it. Unfortunately, that's how dividing polynomials is. It just takes for practice to get good. So one thing I want to suggest is maybe pause the video as I'm going through this and see if you can finish it. So wherever you feel comfortable, pause and see if you can finish the problem and then play again and see if you got it correct. So if you want to work this out by yourself, go ahead and pause it, see if you can work it out, and then play the video as I work through it. Or if you want me to do the first step first, pause it, and then play it when you feel comfortable. So it's up to you at how you work this out, but I would start practicing now. So again, what do we look at? You want to look at the first term of each. Noting, if you can remember, they need to be in descending order. 3, 2, 1, constant, 0. 2, 1, 0. Okay, I'm good to go. X squared times what is 2x cubed? Well, I'm missing my number, 2. So I need to multiply my x squared by 2. And I have an x squared, and I need x cubed. So I'll need one more x. So let's check that out. 2x times x squared is 2x cubed. And 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x squared. And because we happen to have a quadratic here, 2x times 4 is 8x. A lot going on there. So once you find your first term and what you need to multiply to get your first term here, you have to multiply that by each of the term on your divisor. What was the next step here? That's right. I need to get rid of my cubes, and the only way to do that is to change the signs. So I'm flipping all the signs here. Like so. Now, bam, cube is gone. And I can add the rest. So 2x squared plus 6x squared is 8x squared. Negative 16x minus 8x is negative 24x. And drop down to 32. Okay, do you remember what to do next? We start over. 8x squared and x squared. First term of each. X squared times what is 8x squared? Well, that's pretty easy. Because I have a 1, I need an 8. So So let me add an 8, and I have my x squares. So I'm good to go there. Now let me check. 8 times x squared is 8x squared. 8 times negative 3x is negative 24x. And 8 times 4 is what? 32. What do we need to do now? We need to flip the signs. Positive becomes negative, negative becomes positive, positive becomes negative. My goal was to get rid of x squared. 8x squared minus 8x squared cancels. Oh, but wait a minute. Negative 24x plus 24x cancels, and 32 minus 32 cancels. Hey, I lucked out. I have no remainder, so I'm done. Here's my quotient. 2x plus 8. How can you check your answer? Because in algebra, 99 times out of 100, you can check your answer to make sure you're right. What's the opposite of dividing? You should say multiply, right? I can multiply my divisor with my quotient, and I should get the dividend. So the divisor, multiply that by the quotient, should equal the dividend. Because now I'm just going backwards. So divisor by quotient equals the dividend. Multiply 2x plus 8 by x squared minus 3x plus 4 should give me this cubic function. So something else I want to make note of before we do long division, not only do we have to have everything in order 5, 4, 1, 0, but we have to have everything there. Notice I'm missing what? X cubed, x squared. Before we do long division, everything has to be in place. We can't have any holes, as it will. So I got to plug in those holes with a 0, because that's what it's being missing. It's being multiplied by 0. So x to the 5th minus 3x to the 4th. Uh-oh, I'm missing x cubed. So let me add 0x cubed. I'm also missing x squared. So add 0x squared. And let's see, now I have a 1, so 12x. And a negative 33, my constant. Now I am good to go to use long division here. So I made a little note here because I'm going to show you what not to do. Why it's important that you have to fill these holes here. This 0x cubed is 0x squared. Notice I changed the problem up a little bit so that it'll work out so that I can show you what may happen. So let's work this out as we have been. X times 1 is x to the 5th. Well, that's x to the 4th. So x to the 4th times x squared, x to the 5th. X to the 4th times negative 3 is negative 3 x to the 4th. Of course, here we want to flip our sign. So negative and a plus. Flipping so I can add the x to the 5th, and when I do, they cancel. 3x to the 4th plus 2x to the 4th is 1x to the 4th. And I want to drop everything else down. So plus 12x minus 33. Well, so far so good. Let's start over. X to the 4th, x. X times what is x to the 4th? Well, that's x cubed. So x cubed times x, x to the 4th, and x cubed times negative 3 is negative 3x cubed. And once again, we're here at the step where we need to flip our signs. Everything works out okay. Cancel my 4's. But watch how this got set up. I have a 3x cubed and a 12x. We cannot combine these like terms because they aren't like. So what usually happens is you don't see that. You would add, let me make this red, 12 plus 3 is 15x, and since you have this one up here, you might see cubed, you might say x. Hopefully somewhere in here you might have seen a mistake or how this doesn't work out, but this is wrong because, well, we didn't shift our polynomial over. We didn't atone for the blank spots, the 0x cubed. If that 0x cubed was here, it would line up nicely. I would see, oh, okay, I'm adding 3x cubed to a 0x cubed. That's 3x cubed. And if I add that x squared, I would drop that down. And then I would drop everything else down with it. 12x and the negative 33. So the reason why we want to fill in the zeros here, if there are any, is so that when we do the long division, everything lines up nicely. We don't accidentally add the 3x cubed to the 12x. So you see how that could become an issue with some of you if you're not paying attention to detail. So always make sure everything's in order. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And make sure everything's there. Make sure you're not skipping any exponents. The next part of the chapter is to talk about synthetic division. I don't teach the synthetic division because it doesn't work every time, only when certain situations happen. But I will be uploading a video, so check that other video I just uploaded if you want to look at synthetic division. Some people like that better, but note, and I'll make sure I find a video that does note that it only works under certain conditions. So here is long division, and check out the next video if you want to look at how to divide a polynomial using synthetic division.